I've done it some years. So what do you go from here as you continue to build and move forward?
Man, we have a strong foundation. The culture is set. The mindset is there. So you just try to do better than the last year. So our goal this year is to come out on top, of course, win our side, and eventually go on to win the tournament.
When you look at softball coming in this year and you're talking about, taking it on to the next level, what does that look like for softball? How do you take softball to the next level and build from what you did last year to come out on top?
I mean, for us, the coaching staff, it was pretty simple. We had one of the top defenses in the SWAC, East and West Side, had one of the top people in the circle pitching staff. So defense was solid. So we went in and, got some people out the portal that could hit. Also developed the ones that were already there into a system that we feel is a more aggressive style offensive system. And we've been working on that and perfecting that. And I'm just excited to see it, come to pass in the games that we have coming up, because the girls are excited. They love the new offensive system, and they love pushing themselves and moving quickly. So I'm excited to use it against the competition.
As you talk about using against the competition for you, we moving forward. Happy New Year, first of all, to you, and happy holidays. Any changes to your coaching staff? Yes,
we did add Alex Stevens to our staff. She's a hitting guru, so she's the one that kind of implemented that offensive system and is developing our power hitters. So you should see a ton of more home runs from us this year. So, yeah, Alex is doing a great job.
Well, Coach, before you're ready to get out of here one more time, give us the information for everybody out there to find out about this camp, get involved in this camp, and when is this camp going to take place?
Yes, it's SouthernUTotalCamps.com. It's January 17th, and it'll be Saturday morning, so from 9 to 12. Like I said, we're all age groups. We're going to do these camps more often. We're going to do some hitting underneath the lights. Our goal is to really develop players around the area, our local kids that, dream to go to Southern or just want to perfect their skills. Like, we're here to grow the game. So we make our camps affordable so that you can come often and get the same skill set.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you for coming on this morning and taking the time to promote this camp coming up, and good luck to you guys as you move forward into 2026 and get things kicked off for you guys. And thank you once again for taking the time.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We're going to the top of the hour. We come back on the other side. We're going to talk some Southern University men and women's basketball taking on Texas Southern today. The women already took on Prairie View on last week on Thursday, and the men would take on Prairie View on Monday. So you guys stay tuned with us. We'll be back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Darius Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Jaguars on a 5-game winning streak.
But Darius Skelton, and the thing about this guy, he's very familiar with this area. He's a good quarterback, but this is a homecoming for him. He played his high school ball at Pine Bluff High School, and he won an awful lot of games there.
Yeah, no question about it. Speaking of winning, from 7th grade till his senior year, the man only lost 7 games. That's impressive. He took Pine Bluff High School to 3 consecutive 6A state title games, winning the last 2 his junior and senior year. And then, if that wasn't enough, he took the basketball team to a state championship as well in his senior year. This guy is everything about winning.
And Ladarius Skelton has to make sure he blocks it out in a hurry. Don't get caught up in the elements. Stick to your keys and your game plan.
The sophomore was chosen to be the signal caller after that Alcorn State loss. And since then, he has been rolling, and Skelton is rolling with his feet. His name starts with the letter J. And Skelton on the RPO. Skelton bouncing to the outside, and he finds the end zone. So Skelton looking down that right sideline. What a pass, and into Trey Smith. Play action. Skelton going for it all. Has a man and hauling it in. And a chance for them to answer. Skelton calls his own number and boulders his way in. Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake juke move, baby! Finding his way into the end zone. Touchdown!
2 to go on the play clock. Gets it off. And Skelton going for it. He's got Hunter registered in the end zone. Now on 2nd and goal. And Skelton banged around and into the end zone.
Season on the line. Run.
And Skelton calls his own number. And he's in.
Goal. Skelton looking back. Fires. Touchdown, Jaguar. Goal. Skelton is going to go to the corner. Ooh, touchdown.
That was a man in motion now from left to right. He fakes the handoff. Skelton in trouble, throws, and it is caught in the end zone for the touchdown. Here comes the pressure. Skelton steps up, and he's going to pick up the first down. He's going to pick up a touchdown. 10 from the JSU 23. Skelton will keep it. Skelton inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5, and he scores. In shotgun formation, gives it, actually fakes it, and he'll take it in for the touchdown.
The time stepping up into the end zone has registered. Flag down, catch made, touchdown. 21, McNeese 40. First set of downs as we begin the second quarter. And looking deep, Skelton for register.
To 6. So first down, Skelton looks, throws, and his ball is caught. Touchdown.
Finish off this drive. Cheney in motion. Skelton keeps. He's in for the touchdown. Nice fake by Skelton. He goes the other way. Now he pulls it down. He has nothing but daylight in front of him, and he races home for his second touchdown of the night. 4th and goal. This time, Ladarius Skelton keeps, and he hops in for his 3rd touchdown of the ball game on the ground. 6 games of last year and went 5-1, so he was very impressive. Comes on the option left, and nothing but running room. Skelton's going to walk in. 3 wide receivers to his left. He's looking that way. Now he pulls it down, still looking that way. Fires deep, has a man open, and it's a touchdown for the Southern Jaguars. 6-yard line. Skelton looking in the same direction. This time, he jumps out of the pocket, and he's in for the touchdown from the 2. So Skelton looking to throw this one. Fires into the end zone, has a man open.
Man in motion is Hunter register. Play fake, end zone, easy touchdown.
The pass. Skelton this time option to his left, still has it. Still has a man with him, and Skelton's going to pick up the first down.
But look for Ben.
Skelton over the middle, man, wide open, it's a touchdown. It's 2nd down and goal to go for the Jaguars. Skelton runs out of the pocket, he's going to keep it, he's going to score.
First year start. Right back in the ball. Skelton wanted to go around the end, cuts it right back. Skelton drops back, nice pocket, lifts one down the sideline, completed the 15. Skelton himself looking for a hole, finds it, touchdown Southern.
Resting now at about the 38-yard line. Skelton looking for a slant pass, has his man, it's complete.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. And everybody, good morning. That's listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. And everybody watching on our YouTube and on our Facebook, we're glad to have you guys. Now, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, we had some technical difficulties. We just learned something that we won't do again, but we figured it out quick, fast, and hurry. So it ended the first half. The first hour is live. So if you're watching on there and you're joining us back on YouTube, welcome back. For Facebook, it's still live. Radio, we're still rocking and rolling. But just for our YouTube audience, we learned something. We won't do it again. But it unfortunately, it took away the live for the first hour. But now, as we move into the second hour, we got a very special guest. He is the head women's basketball coach over at Southern University, and they're doing a damn good job right now. My man, Coach Carlos Funches. Good morning, Coach Funches.
Good morning, Perry, and Happy New Year to you and the crew.
Happy New Year, my brother. How are you?
Hey, man, it's grind time this time of year for us, so we working, trying to get better each and every day.
Talking about grind time, and you grinded it out in that non-conference, man. And normally your team plays one of the toughest schedules when you're talking about non-conference in the country. The amount of just top 25 teams, you're all over the country. But you always say it gives us an opportunity to get different looks when we're talking about different styles of basketball, the toughness, the physicality that ultimately prepares you to have the success that you've been having in the SWAC. Talk about your non-conference schedule and the heads that you turned by upsetting Arizona as well as Houston along the way.
Well, I thought the young ladies continued to improve each and every game. In practice, they came out and worked to do just that. It's always a grind, and it's tough when you might lose the game by big margins early, but you have to stick with the game plan and mentally just focus on trying to do the right things and making what I call winning plays on both ends of the court. We playing UCLA and you blocking out a 6'8" young lady and she still gets the rebound, but you did what you were supposed to do, which is box her out, but she's just bigger. So that's the kind of things we look at when we playing these non-conference games.
You started conference play on Thursday night at home in the F.G. Clark Activity Center, taking on Prairie View. 70-55 was the final score in this one, Coach. You guys shot 30 of 80, shooting 38% from the field. You were 2 of 11 from 3 points. You also shooting 18% from the free throw line, 8 of 11, shooting 73% and 48 rebounds on the other side. You held the Prairie View Panthers 21 of 43, shooting 49%. They were 2 of 13, shooting 15%, and 11 of 16 from the free throw line, shooting 69%, and held them to 29 rebounds. Looking at that three-point percentage, shooting 2 of 11, but overall getting the victory. What did you learn once you got into conference play with your team and having a huge fourth quarter for you guys to get back into this game and really take it?
Well, I thought we were a little rusty. I thought we were a little anxious coming out and missed some easy shots. We did a good job on the O board. We had 25 offensive rebounds, which was probably our season high. But I thought we started to settle down and do a better job of getting good looks, especially in that fourth quarter, and I think we got it up to 21 or 22 points, and they eventually cut it down to 15. But we were a little sloppy coming out. I thought we played hard. We wasn't really engaged like we needed to be defensively, stepping up, putting on pressure early in the basketball game. But as the game went on, I thought we did a much better job.
Let's look at your starting lineup. You're talking about Porter, Cunningham, Reed, Eltwoods, Hurston. Hurston with 13 points, Eltwoods 10 points, and Cunningham and Porter both 14 points apiece. Getting that offensive production out of your team, being able to put up 70 points. What are you looking for now as we move forward against a pretty tough, typical Texas Southern women's basketball team coming into Baton Rouge today?
Well, I mean, they went on the road up to Grambling, and, that's a hard place to play, and they got to win. So they're going to be sky high. We got to come in, focus, lock in on our scouting report details, and do a better job, I think, knocking down the easy shots, and getting our rotation down and keeping some ball pressure on them and trying to take them out of what they do best, which is ball screen offense. And defensively, again, we have to keep some pressure and create some turnovers and get some easy buckets. We scored 70 points in that first game. I thought we should have had at least 80, so that'll be our goal. So hopefully we can get it going and knock down some shots and shoot a little better percentage this game.
You're talking about wanting more, and I look at the bench, right? Dixon, 19 minutes with 6 points. I look at Tate, 20 minutes with 2 points. Delancey, 14 minutes, 3 points, and then Lagway, 13 minutes, 0 points. Are you looking more from your bench to come in and keep that offensive production going as well?
Yeah, we are, and I think they will, no doubt about it, because, at a lot of positions, when we sub in, we're a little bit better offensively as far as shooting the perimeter jumper and things like that. So I think everybody will settle down and just say hopefully have a really, really good performance today. You got to win your home games if you're trying to win a championship. So you got to hold serve.
Let's look at this Texas Southern team. As you talk about, they went up to Grambling and got a victory 61-58 against Grambling. You talk about it's always tough to go up there. And in that game, Texas Southern women's basketball, they shot 19 of 65, coach, shooting 29% around the field, 3 of 19 from the three-point line, shooting 16%, and 20 of 26 from the free throw line, shooting 77%. For you, when you look at this team, what do you see? Because last year, I remember, I think to start off conference play, you went on the road and fell short to Texas Southern to start off conference play, right?
Yeah, last year we went up there. We had a 15-point lead, I think, going into the fourth quarter and kind of collapsed a little bit, you know. And they did a good job making shots and ended up getting the win. So they're going to be tough again. They're balanced. I think they're deep. They have some good perimeter shooters, some good inside play. So it's going to be a tough matchup. So we got to come out ready to go.
Let's look at some scores also around the SWAC, coach, that happened on Thursday because you won your game against Prairie View 70-55. How about this one in overtime, an upset? Mississippi Valley 74, Alabama A&M 72 in overtime. Your thoughts on that one? How about Valley?
I mean, that's one of the toughest places in the league to play. I mean, you're talking about going in the Valley and they're going to pack the gym up each and every night. It's going to be loud, and those young ladies are going to play hard. So anytime you hit the road, anything can happen any given night. So that's what I always tell our team. You have to be prepared and you have to be ready to go. You cannot let teams get on a roll and start going and get their confidence level up. So you got to jump on them from time the ball is tipped off and be ready to go because it's tough on the road and it's each and every day.
Alabama State women's basketball team going on the road, another overtime game. It was some close games Thursday night besides yours. 71-65 in overtime. Bama State over Pine Bluff. Hey, you had an opportunity to see either one of these squads so far this year?
Briefly, you know, I watched a little bit of tape, but usually I just watch one game at a time. But again, like you say, it's a lot of parity in the league, and everybody's going to come out to battle every night. So each night you got to be prepared mentally and physically and come out and battle and try to get these wins.
Games around the SWAC for anybody out there listening today on the women's basketball side. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman at 12 o'clock today. Alcorn State and Jackson State at 1 o'clock today. Prairie View and Grambling 2 o'clock today tip-off. Of course, Southern University and Texas Southern tips off at 2:30 on the women's side. Alabama State on the road at Mississippi Valley. They tip off at 3. And Alabama A&M taking on UAPB at 3 o'clock. Coach, any changes to your staff? Anything is just working now that you get into conference play?
No, we're just trying to get into a routine of getting rotating our benching and trying to do some things and tweak some stuff here and there. Got a couple of injuries, but nothing major. So just trying to fine-tune everything as we get ready to go down this stretch run.
You know, I always continue to get this question each and every week, and I finally get to ask you, Gordon, any updates with her?
Well, we're still awaiting a decision from the NC2A. It's been taking a while. They did request some other material on her, so we got all that in. So we just still playing a waiting game. So hopefully we'll know something here in the next few days.
You know, Coach, you know, as you go through this process, man, and with this new year, I want to ask you this each and every year because people can be content with winning. And when I say content with winning, sometimes you can get to a point where you don't push yourself to take it to the next level. What is your drive to continue to push this program? Because this is just not a team that you have. Each and every year, you put out what you see overall as a program at Southern University women's basketball. What is your drive to continue to find ways to have success the way that you and your staff has been doing, not only with the recruiting, but the outcome of the games, regular season champion, we're talking about tournament champion, man, and it seems like it is tough to stay at the top, but you found a way to stay at the top.
Well, I mean, you have to have pride in whatever you do. You know, I have passion for this game. These young ladies that we recruit have a passion for it, and they come here to win championships. And you have to have pride in what you're doing, and it starts in practice. Each and every day for us as coaches, it starts when we're recruiting these young ladies. So you have to have the right players in the system that's going to buy in and play as one unit. And, you know, we've been really successful, not just on the court, but also off the court. Anaya Gordine just graduated here in December. So that's another thing. We have a 100% graduation rate over these last 8 years. So we look to continue that and hopefully win some basketball games and some championships while we're doing it.
Now, final question as we get ready to head into today's game against Texas Southern. You're 1-0 in conference place currently. What are you looking for? And talk to us about some of those impact players or is there somebody who, through non-conference, you looked as a young player or a player that's come in and say, you know what, special right there. I didn't see that, but we knew the potential was there, but I'm seeing it now.
Well, Demaya Porter. I mean, I saw it in her when she was in high school. It was just a matter of her coming in and learning what she did last year. She played about 7 to 8 minutes a game, but she's an extremely hard worker. And this year, I mean, she just started to blossom. And she had, I think it was 14 the last game. She had some games early in the season. She played against some of these Power 4 kids and gave them 16 or 17. So her growth and her development has been really special, and she's just now learning what she's doing out there. So she's going to continue to get better. Jocelyn Tate, I think Michaela Cunningham, we call her Chaos. Zaria Hurston, she's another one. I think we have a lot of kids that's just starting to develop, and they're going to continue to get better because they come out and work hard each and every day in practice.
Yeah, I love what they consider what is called for the outside developmental process that you have at Southern University, where these young ladies compete at a high level. They compete for championships, and there's nothing less. And for that, Coach, give a word to the Jaguar Nation on why they need to show up today and support you and these young ladies.
Well, you're going to have a group of young ladies that's going to represent you well on and off the court. They're going to hit that floor, and they're going to give you 100%. And, hopefully everybody gets their money's worth because we're striving to win championships. And, that's the type of young ladies we're putting out there on that court.
Well, I'll be there today. I'm going to be loud and proud with my blue and gold on, cheering on those Jaguars, cheering on you, Coach, and hoping we can get this victory as we take on a really tough Texas Southern team today. Thank you, Coach, for coming on this morning, being able to not only talk to me, but talk to the fans out there because the people love you, Coach, and they support you, and they love watching and what you're doing with this program. And I myself, I enjoy every time I have an opportunity to have a conversation with you because it feels good to talk to a champion and a winner, because there's a lot to learn when you talk about the wisdom that you bestow and put upon us out here, because guess what? We know you hold yourself with a high regard in terms of the expectation. You do the same thing with those young ladies. And as you talk about 100% graduation rate on and off the court. And for me, that's why I look up to you, man. That's why I love having the conversation, because that is the standard when they talk about Southern University right there.
Well, thank you so much, Barry, and thank you for your support, not just this year, but over the years. And we're going to continue to try to keep this winning going.
For everybody out there, that is the voice of Coach Carlos Funches. He's the head women's basketball coach at Southern University. Be in the Mini Dome today. They have a huge matchup against Texas Southern on the women's side. And, we got to make it tough. If Texas Southern felt like they can go to Grambling and get a victory, you better believe they think they can come in Baton Rouge and get one. We got to say, as my man Lee Corso say, not so fast, my friend, Coach. So thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Barry. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. We'll come back on the side, and we'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal. All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm Perry White. Good morning to everybody listening on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Everybody watching on our YouTube and Facebook. Big day in Baton Rouge as we talking about conference play. The women started conference opener, home opener on Thursday. Now the men have an opportunity in Southern University, men's basketball. And listen, love having a conversation with him each and every time because I learn a lot. He is the head men's basketball coach at Southern University. My man, Coach Kevin Johnson, known as Coach KJ. What's up, Coach?
Good morning, Perry. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, my man. How you doing?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great. It's an exciting day in Baton Rouge, but an exciting day for Southern University men's and women's basketball. Let's do it.
It's always exciting when we can get you guys at home because that non-conference you guys were on, you had 10 games on the road, so you were all over the place. Now it feels good, as they say, to sleep in your own bed, as my mama always tell me. It's good to sleep in your own bed, right? Now that you're back home, man, let's talk about your non-conference schedule and just what it did for you guys to prepare you for conference play.
Well, our non-conference schedule is extremely challenging. Certainly, in my third year, this was the toughest non-conference we had. And, the toughest part about it, other than the competition, was the travel. We make 2 separate trips to the West Coast, right? And then 2 separate trips to the Midwest. And that's a lot of wear and tear. But I love the competition we face. And I like the way our guys fared. We weathered the storm through some injuries. Missed Mike Jacobs for a couple of games, missed Joe Manning. Most of the non-conference was out without P.J. DuBois. So we had some challenges that we had to overcome, but it's about survival in the non-conference. And I think we did that well.
And we missed you in a couple of those games, Coach. Glad you got yourself back together and healthy again, man. We got to have you, Coach.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I got to be there. And, thank God I'm feeling a lot better now, actually on my morning walk now. So it's time to get it today.
Yes, sir. Get the blood pumping and flowing because big opponent. We always know when Texas Southern now, it may not be such a rivalry in football between Southern and Texas Southern, but in basketball, this is what you ask for. This is blockbuster when we talk about within the SWAC. These 2 programs, story rich in history and tradition in basketball. And for you, when you got to take on Texas Southern, man, you got to bring your A game because this sets the tone when we look at conference play within this conference. And last year, you guys won the regular season title out of the conference, man. Texas Southern made it hard for you. But when you look at today's opponent, what do you see out of this team?
Texas Southern, they're good every year. They have a good level of talent, and they have a young man that plays the center for them, and Troy Hufstad, who most of the coaches think he's the best big man in the league. And so I'm looking forward to a really good battle and a good contest today. Johnny Jones is a Louisiana guy, and so am I. And, his connections with LSU. So, he looks forward to this trip, but I want to make sure it's an unhappy one for him.
You, me, and all of the Jaguar Nation, because we understand when it comes to Texas Southern, when you go there, they make sure it is loud and rowdy when Southern University comes to town. So we got to make sure we do the same thing when they come here and make sure it is loud and rowdy, because if you've never been to a Texas Southern game at Texas Southern, hey, they give us the business over there, Coach, from the fans and everybody else in the stand. We got to make sure we do the same thing to make them know this is not an easy place to come try to get a victory. And we defend very well on our home court at the F.G. Clark Activity Center.
I think we got the best home court in the league. And I definitely feel like we got the best fans in Jaguar Nation. But, Texas Southern, boy, I'm subject to call a timeout over there and turn around, and there might be 3 students in the huddle. So we got to get after those guys. Get after them today.
Hey, you're not lying. I've been there and I've seen it, man. It is tough. And then, I don't want to look too far ahead, but of course, once you get through with Texas Southern, is that we used to call it the Texas 2-step when we go over there, but we have prayer review on Monday. What are you seeing? And I know not looking ahead, but of course, you see the film. What are you seeing out of this prayer review team as well as they have the leading scorer in the SWAC in one of your former players?
Yeah. Prairie View is much improved. I had a chance to watch him a lot on tape. Of course, Perry, we take these games one at a time, but they're a much improved team. I can't remember exactly where they were picked in the preseason rankings, but they're one of the teams that's playing really good basketball in the league right now. So it's going to be a tough weekend, but like I said, we got to do what we do and protect home court.
As I look around the SWAC for everybody that's out there, aside from Southern taking on Texas Southern Day, Prairie View and Grambling tip off at 4 o'clock. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman at 2:30. Alcorn State and Jackson State at 3 o'clock. Alabama State and Mississippi Valley State at 5 o'clock. And Alabama A&M and UAPB at 5:30. Looking around the conference, Coach, and I know we're just getting into conference play on the men's side. Things are going to tip off today. But has any other team caught your attention as you looked around and as you scout the conference before you get into conference play that maybe has surprised you and said, man, what they did in non-conference, they should be a pretty rough, pretty tough team as we get into conference play?
I tell people all the time the quality of coaching in this league is just getting better and better, and you got to make sure you're prepared on any given night. But every team in this league has been able to show some improvement, especially from last year. And, there's a lot of teams that are, close to midseason form. We're not there yet, but, you certainly don't want to, peak too early. But there's 5 or 6 teams playing really good basketball right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how things start to unravel with the first weekend and then, going into the second weekend.
All right, let's go through this roster. Introduce us to some of these guys that a lot of people, they wait to conference play and they'll get in there today and get their opportunity, get their first look at this basketball team that you have assembled to compete for a championship this year. So give us an introduction to some of these guys that are your starters, your bench players, some impact players, guys to look out for. Who are they?
Yeah, we returned 8 guys from last year, and seems like everywhere we go, people are surprised because that's just unheard of in today's landscape. And I thought it was important to try to retain a core group, so we're happy about that. But there's some new guys that have stepped up and proved that they can help us. Faza Shody has had some really good games. Guard we got from Southwest Mississippi that really shoots the ball well behind the three-point line. We got Terrence Dixon, transfer from Lamar, that gives us some athleticism inside, and he's had some really good games here in the non-conference. Also, Malik Abdul-Gawad, 6'11", from Cairo, Egypt, has proved that he can score the ball against anybody. So those 3 guys probably as newcomers are the top guys that stand out.
What are you looking for out of this team now that you move forward into conference play? What do you want to see as they continue to develop and grow as you continue to lead this team, Coach?
Yeah, the main area I'd like to see us grow is in rebounding. These guys, we've had some games where we've shot it well, had some games where we didn't, but they proved that they can score the basketball. I'd like to see us be a better rebounding team. We're bigger than we were last year, and we got really good athleticism. So I hope that translates in terms of rebounding. And if we can secure and get some defensive stops, then it'll improve our transition game. And then the other thing that we've been, you hate to talk about this a whole lot, but I want to be a better free throw shooting team. We're currently about 67%. And our goal is to be 75 from the line as a team. I thought that was one of our weaknesses last year, and we've gotten a little bit better. But those are 2 areas that we got to, those things, rebounding, free throws, they'll cost you games. And so that's why we've emphasized that with our last week of practice.
Well, Coach, before I get ready to let you go, hype me up, hype the fans up. Tell us why we need to get into that F.G. Clark Activity Center today and support you guys against a really tough Texas Southern team.
First of all, my coach used to say this: there's no better place to be on a Saturday than in that darn gym. So let's go Jaguar Nation. Come on out. Show up early. Stay late. Wear blue and gold. And get on those doggone referees.
Get on them. Give them hell, huh, Coach?
Get on those doggone referees.
Well, I'll make sure I do my part, Coach. Thank you for coming on this morning and taking the time. And good luck to you guys. I'll be there. Texas Southern today, Prairie View on Monday. Thank you, Coach.
We'll see you this afternoon, Perry. Go Jags.
Go Jags. That's the voice of Coach Kevin Johnson, the head men's basketball coach at Southern University. All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break, pay some bills, and we'll come back and we'll keep this show going. Trust me, it gets better. All right, y'all stay tuned. More of the Jaguar Journal.
It's one thing to do it in a normal year, but it's something else in a year like three now with only 5 outs to work with. This one hammered to left field. Melton at the track, reaches up, and it's gone. Well, that's one way to try to get back in it. Xavier Moore leads the ballpark, and it's a new game. Our score at 6-4. Fourth home run of the season.
Moore fought back from a 1-2 count, too. Got a pitch he could take out of the ballpark, and to the location of this, outside portion of the plate, but high. Still it goes on. 2-4 ride.
The Rocket City track strikeouts out of the bullpen. Pitch number 70. He went around, yes indeed. Make it 6.
Do you go to the bullpen?
Round out to first. I think the answer is no. The payoff. Back up the middle. Base hit. The leadoff man's aboard. Oh my. First 2 are far in the SWAC tournament. This one sends a charge to deep left. Melton going back at the wall.
Oh, what a play.
He did not.
No.
And that should be a home run. In a worst case, we're tied at 6. And yeah.
The door opened.
I have never seen a play like that in my life. And we have to have a conversation here to figure out how this will be scored. In a worst case, we have a tie game. Unbelievable.
Good job of tracking down the ball. Nice concentration. Wow.
And the ball comes out of the glove of Melton as he hit the dirt, crashing through the wall.
I think that's home run.
That is a home run, and Southern's going to have the lead. For now, it stands as a triple, but they're going to have to change this game. Watch closer.
If the door doesn't open, I think he's going to make that catch. But the door opens.
All right, everybody, we're back. More of the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning, everybody. Listen on the radio waves on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Very vast amount of land that we are covering this morning on the radio. So good morning to you, or you're getting up. Happy New Year, and everybody the same that are watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, across all social media, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, and as well as hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And as we keep things going, you know I got to bring my main man into the new year with me, my man, Mark Gray. Good morning, Mark.
What's the deal, P? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my brother. How you doing?
I'm feeling great. You know, despite the fact the Commanders and Jason Daniels are out of the playoffs, and it's going to be tough for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens make the playoffs. My boys, the beloved you, baby, the Canes are still playing. And if it ain't the value Dragos, we got to get the Canes, baby. And I can't wait for that Indiana game on Thursday night.
Let me ask you this: as you watching are you watching the game like Michael Irvin? Are you on the floor just like, we got to get it done? Or is your inner Michael Irvin coming out?
Yes, and yes. Yeah, it's like it's the wife has fully accepted the fandom, right? and he understands, kind of like being at the Bayou Classic where you got to suppress yourself because you deep down inside pulling for Southern, but you're trying to call the game and be objective. I don't have to be objective with you, and that's a great thing.
That is a great thing. Let's jump right into it, Marcus. We talk about this new year, new year, new me, new coaches around the place. And I saw you reported about Ted White and the possibility of him being named the next head coach at Howard University. Of course, Coach Scott moved on to be the tight ends coach over at Auburn. But for you, over on the East Coast, what are you hearing right now coming out of Howard?
I hear that we're only waiting for the announcement as far as the press conferences is concerned. People around here a little bit closer to the negotiations say that the deal is basically signed, and it was done from what I hear, about 2 weeks ago. And it was an interesting notion because I hear the first shot, line stab in the dark, if you will, was from Pep Hamilton, who used to be coordinator at Stanford and with the Indianapolis Colts. He also played quarterback at Howard. He's now quarterback coach and assistant offensive coordinator at the University of Maryland. So he definitely didn't want to take that pay cut. And so you get to the point where it's Ted White's time. I mean, he's been an assistant from quarterback coach to offensive coordinator. I mean, he's been around some smart minds, people down in your neck of the woods. And I'm just glad to see another grinder who's taking the HBCU route, get his opportunity to shine. And down in SWAC country, it worked out with Tremaine Jackson over at Prairie View, who was within a field goal of winning the national championship. So when I see a guy who is coming in having put in the work to get the opportunity, and he doesn't, and he's grinded his way there, I think it's a good hire. It just remains to be seen, and he's winning enough games.
I got to ask you this because, of course, Florida A&M made changes, too. They moved on from Coach James Colsey and named their new head coach. And I got to ask, are you related to him? Because both y'all last name Gray. Quinn Gray, former quarterback great at FAMU. Is he related to Mark Gray?
Probably somewhere down the line. I mean, you got to consider how they was rolling in Florida and still trying to get him in these days. I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line there's a DNA match for the guy or Gray with an A. But I'm going to tell you something, though. Real talk, that is an excellent hire. I mean, you just look at the pedigree that Quinn Gray had from not only playing in the league, but being an assistant in the league and, developing young quarterbacks and now having a pipeline of resources that he can tap into. I mean, when you put everything into the mix, I think Florida A&M really, at least on paper, hit the jackpot because, A, Quinn Gray is a FAMU guy. Okay, let's be clear about that. They are very, shall we say, provincial, parochial, however you want to look at it, about their folks. And they scrutinize them at a high talent. Quinn Gray, and I was covering the MEAC heavily on TV when Quinn Gray was in school playing for Billy Joe. And he knows what the expectations are. He's felt the wrath being the starting quarterback at FAMU. If there's anybody who understands the culture of what it takes to get FAMU back to where they were, Quinn Gray is that guy because when they made that run in the 1AA playoffs, as they were known at the time, he was a vital contributor. I mean, guys like Jaquay Nunley don't become All-American receivers were it not for Quinn Gray, throwing them passes when they were in school. So when you put everything in the mix, man, I think that's a knockout ball out the ballpark kind of higher. However, there are no gimmies anymore in the SWAC, bro. I mean, unless you take Mississippi Valley and maybe Pine Bluff off the schedule, it's murderer's row down there. And I think that Quinn Gray, with his accessibility to Florida talent, they're in Tallahassee, so if kids in the transfer portal want to go, he probably can be a bridge to it. I mean, I'm going to listen to Quinn Gray, the former NFL player and NFL, coach, and give him a shot if it doesn't work out at University of Florida, someplace like that. So I think on paper it's a good hire. I just wonder what kind of staff he puts together and how soon they gel.
You know, you talked about FAMU and you mentioned Valley. Valley has a 2-game winning streak over the Rattlers right now, both at Itabena, and they went to Tallahassee and broke the home win streak. So it's hard for FAMU even against Valley. And as I move on from there, let's talk about right here in Baton Rouge, Marshall Faulk being named the head coach. Your thoughts on Marshall Faulk taking over a tradition-rich Southern University program filled with legacy?
In the interest of full disclosure, there was a gentleman when I was doing my show from the Bayou Classic that wanted to fight me because I was so in on, literally, dude, in the Marriott. Before you came over and joined me on the show, this dude sat down at the table when I'm doing my show. I'm by myself. I'm not behind anybody. He sits there, he listens, I go to break, and he starts berating me. I will say this to all the small-minded fans who don't think that Southern made the right hire. He did. He came in and Marshall Faulk immediately, at least according to Roman Banks, from what I heard, made an immediate impact financially by helping to broker deals that have led to better amenities, things like the locker room and stuff like that. I see where people right now are talking about putting the naming rights onto the stadium. That's not disrespectful, ladies and gentlemen. It's called a revenue stream. And sometimes you got to break from tradition to keep up with the time. You can keep, Mumford's name on the stadium, but it could also have American Airlines or Delta on the stadium, too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So in the new world order, where competition begins with signing, well, not even signing day, transfer portal equals you got to find some money. I like the infusion of capital that can come in. Once you do that, it's an attractive place. If you look at big picture, some of the guys that Lane Kiffin is going to bring over from Ole Miss may cost some dudes at LSU their job, and Southern is right there to pick them up. I think this is a unique, sweet spot for the organization of Southern University's football program, which is the signature athletic program with that university. This is a wonderful opportunity to be forward-thinking and taking advantage of this opportunity instead of questioning it and almost fighting what, in this new world order of intercollegiate athletics, seems like it's a good move, which is bigger than the X's and the O's. And you have to look at your college football coach as a CEO. He's got the budget. He's got to manage who he's paying for, what resources he's going to allocate. In the case of Southern, what classics do you go to? Things like that. So you got to think forward because this is not 1986. All right, we 2026. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a new world order. You got to play the game by a different way. And in order for Southern to get active and to get their place, and I had a MEAC broadcaster tell me, the SWAC is better when Southern and Grambling are at the top of the attention list. It's not to say that you can't survive without other successful programs in the conference, Jackson State included. But when you have those two brands who've been synonymous, who are compliant, contending, and financially solving programs, it's better for the conference all the way through. So I like the direction that Southern is going in. And you come off with the momentum of the Bayou Classic win, you hire Marshall Faulk. It just feels like the troubled waters have settled down just a little bit, at least from out here where I see.
We got to get some wins. The Jaguar Nation don't play about that, Mark.
That's true.
Marshall Faulk was brought here not only to get the money flowing, but it is simple to get to the Celebration Bowl. And I was talking to John Grant here earlier in the show. I said, John, we've watched every program around us get there. FAMU, Jackson State, Grambling, Alcorn, and now Prairie View, right? That's 5 teams within the conference, and Southern has yet to step foot over in Atlanta to play for a Celebration Bowl. So Jaguar Nation, the fans right now, although the name Marshall Faulk sounds good and Hall of Famer bringing in money, I think at the end of the day, Marshall Faulk got to realize this fan base wants to get to the Celebration Bowl, and all of this money and all of these resources that's going into this program are to do just that. It ain't just to win games at Mumford. It is to get this team to the Celebration Bowl at the end of the day.
I get that. And you listen to a guy right now who is an alumnus of the only school in the MEAC to have not played in the Celebration Bowl. So just wrap your arms around that for a little bit and understand where I'm coming from too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, you got to win games. It's a duck, and the conference is tough, man. It's not like, I don't know if they're fly-by-night fixes. And I think there's going to have to be a certain amount of realistic patience. I'm not saying that you got to be satisfied with not winning a game after August until like November. That's unacceptable. But, I mean, with change, there are bumps in the road. Oftentimes, I think when there's change, in many instances, I've seen in Southern that people look at things personal instead of practical.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this is a moment for practicality. I think everybody, if you can, and now here's the deal with Southern. With the way they can recruit and the attractiveness of the institution and the football program, the change can come as quick as it did with Jackson and Coach Prime. I'm not going to say that's the norm, though. It may be the exception. But you think about the resources, the city, the opportunities that lie before you. It just looks promising if everybody just holds on. It takes the house a little while to settle while you're getting the foundation in place. I think the frustrated fan base may not be willing to do that, but I don't think Southern is going to go, 6 weeks without a W again this year. I would tend to believe that there are going to be some difference makers that can be acquired because of this coach's name. And, parents and kids are influenced by names and brands like that. And you do have a brand now as head coach, Perry. Make no mistake about that. That helps out in ways that don't necessarily reflect on the scoreboard, but will have a significant long-range impact as you lay the foundation this year. And, we'll see what's up. We know it's never about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. And now you got to get them. And Southern can recruit. They've got a history of tradition. And a person that is the perfect person to be like the face of the franchise type of deal. I'm not quite sure if any of the most recent hires really had that face of the franchise kind of thing, because I would have thought that would have been Eric Dooley, but he didn't win enough. So I think you got a face in the franchise type of guy right now. And in this new world order of, branding and stuff like that, you got a brand there. Let's see if it works.
That's right. This is the voice of my man, Mark Gray. Mark, let everybody know how they can keep up with you and follow all the great things you're doing, man.
All right. I got the Sports Rap Network show, OG Sports Rap, which hits up it's from 8 to 10 Central Time on Sports Rap Network. But you can download the mobile app and check us out at the leisure. I'm on there with two live stews, among others. And, it's America's only all-black sports talk network. So check us out, download the app, and come on and join the party and talk how you like it. That's what we're doing.
Mark, I appreciate you for coming on this morning, man. And as always, I enjoy the conversations with you, man. Happy New Year to you. I wish you much love and success in 2026, man. And we'll be talking here soon.
Hey, man, always a pleasure to talk to the home folks. And, I'm praying for everybody down there because I know y'all facing an uphill battle with elected officials who don't really care about the people. So just know that I'm hoping to send up some prayerful wings so that you get out of it.
Thank you.
I love Louisiana. It's a certain part of me that I'll never forget my time down there. So I want what's best for my folks.
And you like that alligator and them po' boys as well, don't you?
Well, I mean, there's the original thing. Not to be giving anybody a free plug, but that's the Creole menu is just awesome. Awesome. And ask for Boris, and Boris is pouring top-notch drinks too. So, not that I would give anybody a plug, but dude, let's just say the immortal Mo Carter finally found it out of my arm, and he added it to the repertoire.
Everybody.
Ask Mo and his family.
I will. That is the voice of my man, Mark Gray. Thank you, Mark, for joining me this morning.
Always a pleasure, guys. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Let's get ready to take a break, and we'll come back. We'll get ready to close things out. You guys stay tuned more to Jaguar Journal.
Darius Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Jaguars on a 5-game winning streak.
But Darius Skelton, and the thing about this guy, he's very familiar with this area. He's a good quarterback, but this is our homecoming for him. He played his high school ball at Pine Bluff High School, and he won an awful lot of games there.
Yeah, no question about it. Speaking of winning, from 7th grade till his senior year, the man only lost 7 games. That's impressive. He took Pine Bluff High School to 3 consecutive 6A state title games, winning the last 2 his junior and senior year. And then, if that wasn't enough, he took the basketball team to a state championship as well in his senior year. This guy is everything about winning.
And Ladarius Skelton has to make sure he blocks it out in a hurry. Don't get caught up in the elements. Stick to your keys and your game plan.
The sophomore was chosen to be the signal caller after that Alcorn State loss. And since then, he has been rolling, and Skelton is rolling with his feet. His name starts with the letter J. And Skelton on the RPO. Skelton bouncing to the outside, and he finds the end zone. So Skelton looking down that right sideline. What a pass, and into Trey Smith. Play action. Skelton going for it all. Has a man and hauling it in. And a chance for them to answer. Skelton calls his own number and boulders his way in. Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake. Juke move, baby. Finding his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
2 to go on the play clock. Gets it off. And Skelton going for it. He's got Hunter registered in the end zone. Now on 2nd and goal, and Skelton banged around and into the end zone.
Season on the line. Run.
And Skelton calls his own number, and he's in.
Goal. Skelton looking back. Fires. Touchdown, Jaguar. Goal. Skelton is going to go to the corner. Ooh, touchdown.
That was a man in motion now from left to right. He fakes the handoff. Skelton in trouble, throws, and it is caught in the end zone for the touchdown. Here comes the pressure. Skelton steps up, and he's going to pick up the first down. He's going to pick up a touchdown. 10 from the JSU 23. Skelton will keep it. Skelton inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5, and he scores. In shotgun formation, gives it, actually fakes it, and he'll take it.
Jaguar Journal, good morning. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. Now, couple things. How long we got, Mike, before we get out of here? 2 minutes. About 3 minutes. If you were watching on our YouTube channel, the first hour, we don't know, but we figured it out. We'll just put it like that. So the first hour is not there, but the entire second hour is on our YouTube channel. Now, if you've been watching on our Facebook Live, the entire show is there. Sometimes we deal with things with YouTube when it comes to copyright, when we show them different types of videos. YouTube obviously hit us with something, X'd out the entire first hour, but we might got to manage to get this back real quick in the second hour. So the entire second hour, and I think just a smidget of the first hour where Coach Williams is there. So I just want to make sure people understand that when you're watching or you're wondering what happened with the show, it cut out earlier, and then we were able to get it back going on YouTube. But if you're watching on our Facebook Live, it did not have any issues. And if you're listening on the radio, it did not have any issues. It's just sometime with YouTube and copyright, it has those issues. And today they cut the entire live right then and there. So we're making sure that you understand. And as we move forward, we'll do things a little bit different on our end to make sure and to ensure that will not happen again. So I just want to fill you guys in. And for anybody that's out there that want to keep up with the Jaguar Journal, listen. In 2026, we're going to try to do a lot more with this thing as much as we can, right? So with that, we need you to follow us on TikTok. We need you to follow us on Facebook. We need you to follow us on Instagram. And we need you to follow us on X. Now, the other thing I need you to do is go hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Can you do that for me? It costs nothing to do any of that. And we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. So continue to grow with us as we continue to try to take this thing to another level in 2026. Southern University will be hosting Texas Southern today, men and women. The women tip off at 2:30. The men tip off at 5 o'clock over in the F.G. Clark Activity Center. Texas Southern and Southern. And then, of course, Southern men take on Prairie View on Monday, as the women have already taken on and beaten Prairie View women 70-55 on Thursday. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. I want to thank John Grant, the executive director of the Celebration Bowl, coming on and talking with us. Coach Brittany Williams, the head softball coach over at Southern University, talking about her upcoming camp that will be happening here within the next couple weeks. And then as well as Coach Funches and Coach Johnson, both respectfully, the men and women's basketball coach over at Southern University, giving us some insight of what to expect in today's big ball game against Texas Southern. And then my man Mark Gray giving us the 411, as they say, with Howard hiring Ted White, FAMU hiring Quinn Gray, and Southern University, of course, with Marshall Falcon, just updating you guys. And I hope you guys having a happy new year thus far. From my man Mike, CJ Guidry, and myself, Perry White, want to say happy new year to you, and we hope we start the new year off strong. I hope you guys have enjoyed it with us today. And yes, this is live. I saw somebody in the comments asking, is this live? It's live, okay? It is. So thank you guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we'll see you next week at the same time, the same place. As always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a great week, everybody. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.